I first discovered, I discovered my passion for music before I discovered my gift of it. So I always found myself around the choir. I've always found myself paying more attention when I was a child to the praise and worship leaders in our first church, Assemblies of God, Okoko Michael. Google it. It exists. And I was really passionate about just hearing them. I really loved the melodies, the harmonies, the energy. I loved the... I also just loved the spiritual aspect of it, to see how people could walk into the church and be all, downcast, and then a song would be raised, and then all of a sudden, boom, everybody's hearts are lifted. I also discovered my mom, she sang all the time. My grandma sang all the time. So I've always been around music. But I discovered my passion, my gift of music, when I would say the first time it really hit me is my sister was actually meant to be singing a special number on a Sunday. She had heard a song on TV. I went in to sing it the next day. And then she started singing, and then I think what happened was she invited me on, and we did the song together, and I was just like, wow, okay. What's going on here? And yeah, that's how I discovered it at such a young age, and I just began to, train and grow in that area. It took me a while to catch up with it, because there weren't a lot of teachers. There were a lot of doers, but not many people had the ability to be able to teach. So here I am today. I remember when I first started, I started taking lessons at 23, and I committed myself to 2 hours every evening. I wish I still had the same discipline, sorry. But I still have some disciplines though. 2 hours every evening, just running scales. That's all I could do, just yeah, just running scales, learning chord progressions, how to make up chords, major, minor sevens, flat this, sharp that, and all that kind of stuff. And people used to laugh. Yeah, I remember one lady go, "What are you doing? Like, it's too late. If you wanted to learn this, at least in your teenage years, you should have." But yeah, I'm glad I didn't listen. Music, for me, it's communication. It's how you communicate a thought, you communicate emotions, you ask questions. I try to make sure it communicates my heart. And one of the biggest compliments that I've received is passion. Like, you seem very passionate about what you do. So I always feel like the father's voice is very important. I think a man's voice in the home is very important. And when you hold someone in high regard, it's important to you that you get some sort of affirmation from them. It's not necessary, especially when it comes to worship. It's all for the glory of God. But there is a place where your father has the opportunity to be able to speak over you and encourage you to keep going. So I feel like I really believe that the father's voice is very important. And yeah, that's pretty much it from my perspective. For me, my dad has a way of communicating, and I've had to learn over the years how he communicates, so that I don't end up being offended because of how I hold him in my eyes. Sometimes as human beings, we like to be loved the way we love. But we also, while that is good and important, and there's a lot of reward in that, loving someone the way they want to be loved, you also have to give people the capacity to be able to love you the way they can love you. So I guess I've had to understand that to be able to navigate through all that emotions. people can only do what they can with what they have, and thankfully that's kept me at peace. So yeah.